working on some thrift flips today, getting some things done out of the garage. He'll show you how to frame out some artwork, but I'm going to be working on antiquing these 2 mirrors.
And I have these 2 frames. This one's awesome, but I'm going to paint it, bring some of this back. The dark will come back through, but I think I'm going to do like almost like a lime wash look on that. And then this is the backer. It was stapled in. I'll probably hot glue this back in just because it pops off easy enough. The hot glue comes out as easy as the staples, we'll say that. Then I also have this frame. It had like this cloth matting in here that was gross, so we just pulled that all off. It was actually duct taped back behind here, and I'm going to get rid of that, put some art in here to fit, and make a new backer, and that'll be done too.
All right, I'm going to be taking off this backer because I want to age these mirrors by sanding them. So we'll see what we find.
Is that paper or like an oily cloth or whatever you?
Just a paper.
Is that how you say it? That goes on the bottom of chairs? Oily cloth. There you go.
Yeah. So.
Oh, look, more staples.
Yeah. So that's how that's being held in. I'll get this paper ripped off here and get my mirror.
My art is bigger than I need, so I'm just going to take the backer here, and that'll fit right down in the frame real nice. And it might go over the edges a little bit, but this will make it so it's really quick and easy. Then I can just put this sheep print in there and done.
Zeb's obsessed with this print, so let me know if you like it. I am on the fence. I would like it better if it had feet.
I just like how primitive it is. It's like it's standing out in the grass and the guy just didn't draw the grass, or whoever the artist was.
I do like sheep, so we'll see how it looks. So I've opened up all the staples here, and it looks like the mirror does come out.
What's that plastic on the back?
I don't know, but that's going to make my life kind of miserable because I want to...
Is it sticky?
Yeah, it's like stick to it. I'll try to peel it off.
Does it peel? Oh, it looks like it peels off like a vinyl.
Yeah, I'm going to peel that off because I'm going to be sanding the back so that way I can age it and then paint it black.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to paint my frames, and then while the paint's drying, I'll go outside and work on the mirrors. I'm using DIY's White Swan, and I'm just coming in here and painting the inside of this. And then
Not going too much on the gold?
No, I want to keep the gold. I just want to cover this weird speckled part. And then I'm maybe going to dry brush the gold. I don't know. And then this I'm going to paint from this lip over just to cover this orangey wood.
While Jamie's painting her mirrors, I'm just going to go with a quick little wash. I don't mind the gold or even this cream down in here, but it does have some scuffs, some dings that aren't necessarily intentional. They just look like they're bad wear from not being packed right and moving or something. So they're weirdly scratched in odd angles. So I'm going to whitewash over this and see what we get. I've got white linen from Cottage Colors loaded up here and just some water, probably about, I'd say a ½ an inch of water. And I just put white linen up to the bottom of the lip on this cup. All right, on goes the wash. This DIY brush is amazing for this because it just puts it on real light. And it looks like it's going on real thick, but it'll dry thin. And if it's thicker than I want, I can come back. It'll be thin enough because it's so watered down. I can come back with a damp cloth and distress it where I don't want the white to be. So if you want to do some of these projects and kind of duplicate what we've got going on here, you can pick these amazing products up at jamierayvintage.com. So you can see that wash is kind of pulling away, lightening up as it dries. It's puddling in a couple of places. It's not full coverage like it was when I first brushed it on. This has been sitting here maybe a minute, minute and a half since I put paint on it, and it's already doing what I want it to do. Same effect, but this frame is black underneath, and it's going to be a totally different look.
It is day 2 of our DIY thrift flipping projects, and I'm outside because I have sprayed down a piece we thrifted on Monday, and I'm going to see if I can strip off some of the finish. I just used spray stripper on here, and I'm going to let it soak for a good long time. It's got one of those like 70s speckled finishes. I really don't know what's underneath. My plan is to paint over the top of it, but I want the base coat underneath not to be so dark and shiny. We actually have been doing a bunch of cooking for our other channel, which is Jamie and Zeb, but I think we're about done. Zeb, are you ready to get back to painting?
Sure.
What do you got in your hand?
I got a whole pack of basil.
All that basil is in this little pack?
No, that's like 4 racks of basil.
Oh, okay.
That I crunched down and powdered.
All right, so we're gonna clear off the food and get ready for some DIYs. So the sun was shining, which is why I decided it'd be a good day to do this project. I guess we'll just leave it out there and then I'll hose it off and we'll see what happens. See, the sun is still shining and it's pouring rain. Like, look at that sky. There's just a cloud that's decided right there to drop rain on my project. So you can see I hosed this off here and I'm not gonna work anymore on it, at least not stripping wise, because it's plastic. So I'm gonna let this dry really good and I will probably sand this top off because it looks like this is a wood veneer, and then we'll paint it.
I'm really liking the wash on this, how it turned out. It kind of really faded and got subtle, but it also made it look a little rose gold kinda, and I don't love that. So I'm gonna put some dark wax on here and see what we get. Just a little wipe back, get rid of the streakies. I like this better already. It really brightened up the spots of gold that were peeking through the wash and brought it back instead of being kind of rosy. Now we've got like a dingy gray with some gold popping through. All right, I'm holding this down because instead of stapling it in with 300 staples, I just hot glued the corners and little bead right there in between on all the sides. And as soon as this is dry, that'll be good to go and this frame will be done. Oh, and I gotta move the backer, or the hanger, I mean.
I just think it's funny that I went to the effort of stripping this and it's plastic. Here and here. Everything else is wood and it is a lot lighter now that it's drying. And I really love the bleached out look, but yeah, I guess you live, you learn. I'm using crockery and white linen in cottage color mixed together to make a cream color. And I'm just gonna make a wash on this piece, and then hopefully it'll just look oxidized but leave some of the wood grain showing. I don't know.
And we might, it looks like we might also get some bleed through back through that too.
Yeah, I don't really know. I'm hoping that it hides the fact that some of it is plastic. If I have to, I might like dry brush it.
It's just going to be all faux finishes, the whole thing.
It's just going to be faux really awesome.
It's faux wood, faux finish. We're going to get it going.
Real wood. I'm getting on you?
No, going to get it going.
Oh.
I like it already.
Yeah, I feel like it's good. And, you know, worst case scenario, I just go spray it at the shop. But I'm going to try.
You know, at the end of the day, if we're just adding base layers, it's fine.
Just keep layering and layering and layering.
All right, got a couple little screws and just tied a little hemp across this one here. And now I'm just going to razor off that excess. It's ready to hang. I wasn't going to do any wax to this piece, but this is kind of like a darker brownish color, and this is like a lighter gray. So I'm going to put some dark wax on that and kind of pair them together a little better. It's finally time for the mirrors. I just got them on this doormat here, and we're going to get this thing going and sand them. I got 220 grit on the random orbital sander, and we're going to let it rip. All right, so you can see I've got dark spots on the backer and then light spots, and right here I'm starting to pop through the mirror. So I like to flip this up, check it, see if it's looking weird or not. Nothing there yet. There's my dogs. My dogs are out. All right, this is kind of a crazy angle, but can you see that cloudiness coming in right there on the mirror? This is what it looks like on the back now. I'm gonna just keep working that spot just a little bit.
I have a little bit of little black dress and just a little bit of the liquid patina. And I don't want to have to come back here and seal this later, so I'm just going to mix that together.
You honestly don't really need any black paint. It might look funky, but you don't need it where this red is because you can't see through the red on the mirror.
Yeah, I'm probably going to paint the whole back only because you'll be able to see it because I took that paper off.
Oh, on the back.
Mm-hmm. So I'm just going to...
Because we worried about the back.
Well, you know, people will see it. I'm putting a second coat on the back of these mirrors, and one of my tricks is if I've painted one direction on something shiny, when I do the second coat, I paint the opposite direction. This is 2 coats over here, and it's drying, and it's perfectly covered. I feel like if you do the same coat, you just get the same streaks that show up if you go the same way. So opposite direction, we'll get full coverage. I'm just gonna do some clear wax on the top of this, so that way if anybody uses it, sets a drink on it, it'll kind of repel liquid and protect the wood underneath.
It really did lighten up with that wash.
Yeah,
just looking like a
good.
really grayish stain on there. Time for some clear wax. Jamie just painted this white on here, so I don't want it to get too muddy. We are going to dark wax over this. But if you don't clear wax first, it's going to make a mess of your dark wax. All right, clear wax is still wet, has not dried up. Going to go back on here with some dark wax. Pulling the dark wax off. Okay, dropping this mirror in. Careful not to break it. Whew. Every time. Hot glue again on the mirror. This works great. Unless you drop it from a high place, which it's not going to survive anyway, this glue's not going anywhere. This is mirror number 2. Going to get the clear wax, dark wax treatment right now.
After 2 days, we finally got to the shop. We're going to grab those things that we finished, get them photographed and listed on the website. Seb already got in that really cute nightstand that we finished. So we'll just get them photographed. And look at those chairs, aren't they so cute? So when I'm photographing, I like to do it down here on the ground in front of our checkout stand. The front of the checkout stand is the perfect place to photograph stuff. I like the floor, I like the backdrop, and it looks good on the website. Photographing mirrors is always tricky, but if you put them at a slight angle, like I'm gonna be able to photograph this without getting myself in the photo. I think this cute little end table is gonna live over here. That wreath holder has been on the floor and it's the perfect place to put it. Mr. Hang All the Stuff is here. I could hang it, but he's taller and we need to move that one clock. I think we're gonna move that up and we're gonna put the mirror where the clock was.
What I would eventually like to do is I saw some built-ins that I really liked. So I would like to do like built-ins all the way around the edge and then art all above it. That's like a 5-year plan.
I feel like 5 years is accurate. For now, we're just hanging this right here.
All right, can you hold that?
Yeah. Oh no, look what you did.
Oh, well, I almost dropped the hammer and I missed.
I feel like that's okay. What's wrong with that?
No, it's crooked. It's like
oh.
It's hanging up against this.
Okay. See if it's centered now. Oh, that looks so good.
There we go.
Can you reach it without getting on a... I can't even imagine how cool it would be to be that tall.
It's cool until you have to sit on airplanes for a long time.
Oh, that looks good. I love that print. I think it's gonna sell fast. We're putting up one more sheep. It's always hard when you decide to put a nail in the wall, but then after, forever after, we'll just hang other stuff here. Thanks for joining us while we get these projects done. I was pretty surprised and tricked that that nightstand had plastic on it when I stripped it, but just goes to show that just because something is vintage doesn't mean it's solid wood.
No, that's been around probably since the 70s, just based off of how the plastic is made and those molds on there. So, you know, well, and they did a pretty good job of the faux finishing on that, but still, you know, we stripped it down. We're like, oh, this will be neat wood. And here we are doing a whitewash on it.
Had we not stripped it down though, we wouldn't have got that same effect. So still worth it. Good to know that you can strip stuff down with a spray stripper and still get the finish off and then give it like a whitewashed aged effect. And I also love so much how the mirrors and the frames turned out because they all kind of have that like aged vibe, and we mostly just used white paint kind of in a different way.
Yeah, we have used muriatic acid in the past to like age and etch the mirrors. I don't recommend it. It's a whole situation. There's fumes, lots of chemicals.
Yeah, the sanding works great. And
yeah.
It's got the cloudiness that we love. Turned out awesome. If you guys need these paint products or you want to buy any of the items that we made over, visit JamieRayVintage.com. And if you like this video, be sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to Jamie Ray Vintage for more
DIY.
See you on the next episode.